Hello, I'm PS3 TU41 and welcome back to QnA Saturday. QnA Saturday is a weekly series I run on my channel where I answer your questions about a variety of subjects, usually centered around the next update for Minecraft console. We're currently calling that update TU41 because TU40 is not existing, and realistically it'll be at least TU42 if not later, but again, we'll just call it TU41 for now. If you want to ask questions about that or questions about just general life stuff, which is how this Q&A goes, you can ask them in the comments down below because all of these questions come from last week's Q&A. So with that said, hopefully you do all enjoy QnA Saturday. If you do, like it and let me know because it helps out the channel a lot and lets know you do like the Q&As. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? With perhaps the most important question from last week, which comes in from AK Optimum, who says, what is Toycat building? And this is the shortest form fit. Lots of people ask similar questions like, what's that in the background? What are you building, Toycat? This is that. Basically, the answer to that is I was building Majora's Mask. So, first of all, anyone that actually, said that, I know that you didn't watch the end of the video, so, shame on you or something. But second of all, yeah, I'm building Majora's Mask from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It's part of the title, and just in case you haven't heard of that game, because it's from the late 90s, basically it's a magic evil mask, something, and it's a really big build. I thought it'd be done by the end of the episode, but it's just so big, so in the background of this video, I'm also building Majora's Mask. I'm just building it some more. So, yeah, hopefully that clarifies what's going on there, and let's move on to the second question, shall we? Which comes in from Justin Balogun, who says, do you think there will be they will have a setting to pick 1.8 combat or 1.9 combat? So he's referencing that in the 1.9 update, when that does come to console, it's going to change combat, and there's a certain minority of Minecraft PC players or PvP players that just hate the new combat, because, again, it's different, you don't have to relearn a game that you put a lot of effort into, and I get that, but the reason that I don't think they'll do it is because if you do that, one, you're pandering to a small audience, and that creates problems down the line, but second of all, they've never had the precedent for, removing a feature. The reason servers have to do it is because, their player base, the people that feed them money, some portion of them, even if it's only 10% of players, will leave, and that means the server's going to lose 10% of their money. Whereas, 4J as the developer of the game themselves, the same way Mojang hasn't actually removed it from the PC version, they can just put it out there, and eventually people will stop hating it. It's going to be like, imagine if people said before 1.8 that sprinting would ruin the game. Realistically, it sounds bad, and then it comes out, and you're like, oh yeah, this is fine. So, I think that's how it'll be a 1.9 combat. It will, some people would be really angry at first, they'll be like, oh, this has ruined the game, and then, a week later, people forget. It might be a little bit longer than that. It might be a month later and people are still asking for stuff, but I think 1.9 combat will be on by default, and I think most people will just be fine with that after a while. But that's just my prediction. Maybe there'll be big riots in the streets. That'll be interesting to watch at the very least. So, yeah, that's the answer to your question from Justin Balogun. I know it sucks for people who only like 1.8 combat, but again, just learn. It would be my suggestion, because, it's either that or, just be angry for years at a time or nothing happens, and I think one of those things is more useful than the other. But again, that's just my personal biased opinion as someone who, again, I'm not good at 1.9 combat yet, but I don't hate it. So, yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from King Cam. I don't know, I can't pronounce that easily. Driving is honestly pretty easy for most people, that is in the US. So, yeah, this is, following up from last week's question about driving. Basically, yeah, I mentioned how, driving takes a long time to get into and a lot of money in the UK, and I know that in the US that's not the case. First of all, the cars we just drive here by default is what you call stick shift in America. They're manual, you have to do the gears. Second of all, we don't have driving. Maybe this is just a US sitcom thing, but I'm pretty sure there are driving schools near most schools, right? Because you need to be able to drive at 16. Here you can't do it till 17, and it's not a part of the regular schools thing. And then also, obviously, it's just more expensive to do lessons, as I understand it. And what I'm honestly waiting for when it comes to driving, I know it's going to be at least 5 or 10 years, but self-driving cars, they're on their way. You can see them. There's the Teslas are going to be self-driving soon. There's all this sort of stuff, and yeah, I'd like a self-driving car. And because Uber, what they're going to do is just make it so you can order a car to your location, drive the car somewhere else, and cars are going to be I don't know, a subway train or something, where you don't own your own subway train, do you? Well, I mean, if you do, that's weird, but that's why I imagine it'll be at some point in the future. And I'd like to say in 10 years, aha, I was smart not to do this, and it won't ever be that way, but I want to hold on at least a little bit. And yeah, in the meantime, I guess there's Uber or something like that, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next question, shall we? Which, because it's actually pretty cheap, relatively speaking, compared to owning a car. Oh, in the UK, insurance is very, very expensive. So is especially for someone who's driving for the first time and a male. And also, There's the whole, like, fuel is really expensive for the UK. I know Americans, and really most non-Europeans, are mind-blown by the fact that it's like £1 something a litre here, which works out to, like, I want to say that's £8 a gallon, if not £4 a gallon, so like $5 or $6 or $10, depending on how many litres are in a gallon. I don't know gallons, I was raised on the metric system. But with that said, so expensive, question mark. That's a pretty good way to sum it up. So let's move to the next question, shall we, which comes in from Owen Hoversul, who says, do you think they would add hide and seek? So yeah, hide and seek, I think I must have gone through this once, but like a few months ago. So would hide and seek be a viable game mode? Because I've gone through a bunch of ones which I think weren't in like that video. I think hide and seek is a very viable game mode, especially because, one, it's, an easy one that everyone can understand. It's like Battle, the Hunger Games, everyone understands, fight people to the death, that's easy. Hide and seek, yeah, everyone played hide and seek as a child. But the second reason it's a real possibility is because the kids of the guy in charge, I think he's like the CEO of 4J Studios, it's Chris Van der Kaal. His kids, I know, are really into hide and seek videos. So just, maybe that has some influence on the whole thing. Maybe it's just, like a red herring on the whole thing. But it is a fun little fact that I learned at Minecon. So maybe that has some. I doubt it. I don't think hide and seek will be the next game mode. I'd be a little disappointed if it was. I'd like to see something a bit more substantial. But I think hide and seek is possible at some point because it is pretty easy, honestly. It's just, making the maps could be an issue. Who's going to buy hide and seek maps? I don't think anyone would. Especially, so yeah, they've got a few questions to overcome there. I don't know what the next minigame will be because, they've got to balance so many things, and I don't know what they're going to come out with. But it is in development right now, and I even saw, there was a recent tour of their office, and in that tour, you can actually see they're looking at the big list of minigames. So yeah, something is coming soon. So exciting times. So yeah, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Andrew Stephen Games TM, who says, Toycat, if suddenly the console edition would be ahead of the PC version, what would your reaction be? So my first reaction would be, wow, that was clearly a big update, because for that to happen in this next update, it has to be 1.9 and 1.10, which is already a bit of a stretch, but then also, some other stuff. So yeah, if that happened, then what I would love to see, though, is there's like a subset of people that are like ready to complain at everything, because something about the way 4J communicates seems to rub some people the wrong way, and I get that, I really do, but some people are like out to try and hate everything they do, right? So I'd love to see how people are like, we're ahead of the PC, but this is still a bad thing. We're still going to try. I'd love to see the people who are still up in arms about the whole thing. That would be my favorite thing to actually see about the whole thing. I'd wait to see that, because I love seeing people be slightly irrational on the internet, and I think trying to complain, after that situation is something that quite a lot of people would do. And I'd enjoy it. There's something like guilty pleasure I get from that whole thing. I've said guilty pleasure a lot in this last week. I've got a lot of guilty pleasure, it seems. Maybe all pleasures are guilty, because you shouldn't have pleasure. I don't know. Whatever my point is there, let's move on to the next question already, shall we? Which comes in from it comes in from Grace Brenner, who says, IBX Toycat, do you like pancakes, and do you think 1.9 and 1.10 will come separate updates or all together? So, Grace Brenner, I do like pancakes. The most delicious pancakes I had, though, were with fried chicken, which it's meant to be like waffles and fried chicken, I think. But it was the most amazing pancakes I'd ever had. They were like amazingly fluffy, and they're covered in like gravy, but gravy with maple syrup in. It sounds awful, but it was the best thing ever. And so yeah, I like pancakes. I think really good pancakes are some of the best food in the world. And do I think 1.9 and 1.10 will come as separate updates altogether? I realistically think the next update will be 1.9 with some 1.10 features, like a few sprinkled in there. I don't know. It could be 1.10 too. That would be amazing, because that would mean that we're fully ahead of we're fully on board with the PC. But we'll have to see how that whole thing goes. I'm gonna be curious to see, and I guess we'll all have to wait and see what happens there. So yeah, 1.9 and 1.10 I imagine would be separate. It'd be great if they came together, and given the update team's been working on this for a year, it'd be nice, but I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, because I don't know what to think personally. So yeah, that's the answer to your question. Let's move on from the next one, which comes in from Fabio Orion Pulo. That's quite the name there, Mr. F. So hey Toycat, why is 4J so secretive about what they're working on? The PC and Pocket Edition developers show us screenshots more often and are more open about what they're working on. So yeah, why do they not show us like the for instance Dinnerbone or Jeb? They're already showing us what's going on. Why not the 4J people? So I think the big reason for this is that 4J are usually working on features which have come out on another platform. There are very few full-on exclusives, and even when there were exclusives, they kind of show them in a different way. Like, think about Battle, that didn't, they didn't do the slow, teasing thing that most other developers do, and I think a big reason for this is that they kind of like the window between them showing us something and it coming out to be relatively small, and that's how most developers do it, but the updates kind of thing. So I think we'll see screenshots and, teasers of the next update for console in the next few months, because usually what it is there's, they tell us the update's coming out, then, a few weeks later, we get some screenshots, then, maybe a month month and a half later, we get the update, and that's how I imagine this next update will go. So we'll see what's going on, we'll see what they're working on, we might even get a clue as to what's coming in the next, like, 2 or 3 months, but for now, we're just kind of in this, dead period of the year, or maybe they're going to surprise release us on it. It could always go that way, but I think that's the answer to your question. If not, well, there's some rambling thoughts about the next update. So, with that said, let's move into the next question, shall we, which comes in from Lewis Oxley. Will you ever do any videos on funny moments of your life? So, like, Toy Cat's life, funny moments video, and it's just random cuts up. But no, I assume he means, like, do like a vlog, but only take the funny moments. The problem with, like, life vlogging, the people who do daily vlogs, is that if you try and make every moment of your life into a video, you kind of have to live your life in a different way. And I've seen it affect lots of people negatively. Certain YouTubers that do, like, daily vlogs together have broken up as a result. And basically, yeah, daily vlogging, or the whole vlogging concept, if you try and do everything in a video, you're going to run into problems and perhaps not have the best kind of moments of your life. So, yeah, I don't want to, like, drag everyone else down and have a more negative experience, not only for myself, but for everyone around me. And have you ever seen a vlog where you can see someone pull out their camera and everyone's just like, dude, we're having a private moment, and he's just like, oh, look at this funny vlog. I feel so awkward for everyone doing that, and that's why I'm like, let's just not. So yeah, let's move to the next question here, shall we? Which comes in from Flex Killer Z, who says, hey Toy Cat, how many YouTuber friends do you have? Not as many as you might figure. The problem with, like, YouTuber friends is, one, we're all busy on massively different time schedules. So even though I work for the most part, I make videos mostly between like 9 a.m. and, like, I guess like 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. Depending on how long the day is. That's a relatively normal work schedule. Most people do ridiculous all over the place. Like, they'll wake up at 6, they'll wake up at 4 a.m. or they'll wake up at like 6 p.m. because their sleep schedule's everywhere. That's every other YouTuber I know. So it's hard to, like, speak to someone over the internet. Plus, a lot of YouTubers are really, really strange people, to say the least. About like 50% of YouTubers I meet are really, really nice people, and the other 50% are a little bit crazy. Maybe I'm in the crazy half, and everyone else sees the same for me. But I just figured I'd throw that one out there. YouTuber friends, they're pretty cool when they have a similar schedule, which is very, very rarely. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from the Pap. Why isn't Nintendo striking Pokemon Go? Is it because Nintendo didn't make the game itself? So I figured I'd reference Pokemon Go because it's still sitting there without any fix to the tracking system. But yeah, Pokemon Go, why is it not being struck by Nintendo? It's because Nintendo didn't make the game. Niantic makes the game with a license from Nintendo to put Pokemon skins in it. All this really is this is their previous game with Pokemon instead of, like, demons and portals and stuff. So yeah, that's the reason why Nintendo's not striking it, because they don't have the rights, as I understand it. Or maybe they're just choosing not to because it's massive on YouTube. But this just goes to show, like, Nintendo's policy is all over the place and inconsistent, and it clearly, the games that they don't strike are the really successful ones. But with that said, let's move into the next question, or the final question, which comes in from Mr. Neos48. It's been a while since I had a travel question, but they ask, will you ever go to North Korea? And I know the answer should be no, but I would like to go to every country at some point. And the thing about North Korea is they're actually, like, what they'll do is they'll put you up in a really, really fancy hotel, like, they try to make it look like North Korea is a nice country to you, and as long as you don't try and steal their posters, or as long as you don't try and make their country look bad, they don't imprison you. Plus, you can go, like, skiing and stuff, and that'd be pretty cool. So, yeah, I'd like to go to North Korea to say I'd done it at some point. I'd rather that, at some point it stops being the country it is where it's scary, but yeah, I don't know when that'll be. It'll be a long, long, long time in the future if I do go, because, again, it's scary, and I'd be scared, basically. So, that's the answer to your question, Mr. Neos48. I'd love to go, but it would be scary. Thank you to everyone who did ask questions. Again, last week I think we had 1,300 questions. Let me check the exact number. We had, as of recording this, just over 1,300 comments on last week's thing, so roughly 1,000 questions, but also 700 likely spam questions. Some of those are going to be legit, and yeah, lots and lots of questions. Thank you to everyone that does ask them. It's, I've gone through the process of how I picked them. Hopefully, you did all enjoy this. If you did, like the video and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching. Tomorrow we've probably got Seed Sunday. I don't even know at this point. And besides that, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.